Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben. This is episode number 21. I hope you're all enjoying the episodes so far. If this is the first one you've listened to, feel free to go back through my other episodes and have a listen to all my hints, tips and advice. And there's also an introduction podcast in Who is Gardening with Ben and how I got into gardening myself. So feel free to have a listen to that first. And remember to click that follow button to stay up to date with all my daily podcasts, which I launch every day at 7 o'clock in the morning, so you can listen to on the way to work, or while you're having your brew in the morning, or while you're on the allotment digging away. So grab yourself a drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy today's episode of Gardening with Ben. So today's episode is my weekly update on how I'm getting on with my plot and what I'm doing down on the allotment at the moment. So last week I was talking about me getting all my strawberry beds ready and tidying all them up. All three of them are now complete. I must have about 200 strawberry plants in those beds altogether. And you might think, 200 strawberry plants, what does he need all them for? But trust me, when it gets to summer, I'm going down every day and getting a bowl full of fresh strawberries and eating them every day. And yes, I can keep up with the amount of strawberries that come off them, because you can't beat homegrown fresh strawberries. Trust me, until you've grown them, you won't know why I've got so many. So if you've not got any strawberry plants in your plot or in your garden, make sure you plant some, and each year you'll get some extra plants growing off them, which you can then plant and get even more strawberry plants. So possibly, if you need to order some, order about 12 plants, and then within a few years you'll have 200 plants like me. But then you can keep replacing them, the ones that are dying off, and if they don't do so well, you can replace them ones with the new plants what get created from the mother plant. So that's what I've been doing. I've tidied all that up. I've redone all the paths around there. I've also planted my garlic bulbs. Now, I purchased 5 of these from Tesco. I weren't going to use supermarket ones because they're not as good for growing, because they're not disease resistant, and sometimes they can get diseased. But I've seen good results from people that have grown them from supermarket bulbs. So I've done that, and from these 5 bulbs I got 65 cloves altogether. Again, a lot of bulbs. So I've planted all them in one bed. I've done all that. I've shared a photo of that on my Facebook if you've not seen it, and my Instagram, which is Gardening with Ben. So you can check out where I've planted them on my plot. That's in one of my new beds, what I've created in the last month or so, in my new area where I've put all my new wooden fencing up. So I've done that. Also, at the front of my plot, I've put some more picket fencing up. Yes, I've got fed up now of doing picket fencing. I must have used nearly all my wood up now on my plot, but it's definitely got my wood pile down, so that's a bonus until I start collecting it all again, which I'm sure I will do. The worst job will be painting it all in the springtime when it's dried out, because I'm going to paint it all green. It's just too wet at the moment to be painting it green, because it won't soak in properly. It'll probably just run off. So I've got to get that done. That'll probably take a week in itself. So I've got all the picket fencing up, and because I've created some more picket fencing, I've put some more flower beds in front of them. So because I've got bulbs on the other side where I'd put the fencing up the other week, I thought, well, I've got to have the other side matching. So I've planted probably another 200 to 300 bulbs. So come springtime, when I'm sharing photos of my plot, the main focus will be all the spring bulbs what are growing. And they've even started popping their heads through the ground now. I don't know if yours spring bulbs have started coming up out of the ground. Let me know on my social media if your bulbs are showing. Some of the bulbs that I were planting they've all started sprouting, so fingers crossed they'll all come and it will be a brilliant display of flowers on my plot, and hopefully the bees will say thank you Gardening with Ben for planting all these bulbs. And that's one of the main reasons why I plant them, for the bees to enjoy, as they're the first things that are out in flower in the springtime when the bees wake up from hibernation. So I can't wait to see all the wildlife enjoying them. If you haven't heard already, the place where I'm recording these podcasts is an app called Anchor, and it's totally free. They also put your podcasts on multiple platforms like Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts. Straight away, you can also schedule the time that you want it to go on, which is fantastic. There's also creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer, so you can record your podcast literally anywhere you want. You can also make money from your podcasts as well, with no minimum listenership whatsoever. So the more times it gets played, the more times you can earn money from it. And there's everything you need to make your podcast all in one place. So if you download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm, you can get started with your free podcasts. So the tasks, what I'm hoping to get done this week is that because I've moved my 3 strawberry beds, they are close to where my other beds are. So I've got to move all 16 of my other vegetable beds further down the plot, if you get me. They've all got to move down a bit, which is not going to be a hard job, to be honest. It'll be a lot easier than the strawberry beds, as most of those are dug over. So it'll be a case of just taking up the wood, re-putting it in and re-screwing it in. And a lot of them needed screwing back in anyway, because of a lot of them had come apart. And again, in springtime, I won't be painting them till then, as there's no point painting them in winter time. I know we should be doing it because it'll protect the wood through winter, but with it being damp, cold and wet and snowy, it'll probably get the paint off it anyway, because the wood paint doesn't last forever on the wood. I always have to repaint them every year to make them look nice. So hopefully I will get probably about 6 beds moved this week, and with me moving them, I've managed to make space for a 4th bed. They're in like beds of 3 at the moment, so I've made room for a 4th bed. So fingers crossed, I'm going to be growing my runner beans down the middle of the plots. I'm going to try and grow a few different varieties of runner beans this year to see if they're any better, and just try little different things, to be honest. And one thing that I've been looking at, I've been looking on the seed websites, as obviously Black Friday have all the special offers on, and I love to grow new things every year. I've mentioned this before when I'm growing my seeds. I like to try something new each year, and this year I've been looking at trying to grow different varieties of squashes, as there's many varieties of squashes out there, and I want to try and grow some different squashes and see what they look like and taste like. I don't eat everything. I give a lot of the stuff away to family and friends, but I want to try some different varieties of squashes and pumpkins to see what they look like and what they turn out to be like. And also, I've seen a lot of different varieties of like dwarf beans and French beans and peas, so I want to try a few different varieties of them next year. And it's all about just trying different stuff. I don't like sticking to the same stuff all the time. Yes, I'll grow sweet corn every year. Yes, I'll grow beetroot every year, lettuce every year. The main things what grow on my plot, but I do love to try new stuff every single year. And if I'd not tried growing purple cauliflower, I wouldn't have known that that grows a lot better on my plot than the white cauliflower. So since then, I've stuck to growing purple cauliflower every year, and I get fantastic results from it. I shared one of the photos from that the other week, and everybody were outstanding with how well that had grown on my plot. So I'm going to be trying some more new stuff next year. So you'll have to follow my progress on them and see how they turn out. So it's all exciting stuff. And the other day on my plot, I noticed some berries what had grown, and these were my goji berries. I was given a goji berry bush by a friend, and they said, "Yeah, you can have that for your plot." So I thought, I'll just plant it. I don't think anything will grow of it because I know it grows in mountain areas, and I thought, it won't grow here in Sheffield. And I'd not read up on it, on how to plant it, how to look after it or anything. I just shoved it in a corner and forgot about it. And I was just walking past it the other day, and I saw these orange berries on it. I thought, blimey, I've got some on it. I'd only got about 10 on it, but I thought, blimey, first year, and it's got some berries on it. So I picked them, I tried them. Pretty bland, to be honest. I don't know if you've tried goji berries from a bush, but they do have an afterkick taste in them. So I shared that on my Facebook, and my followers, they said, we have struggled to get even one goji berry on a bush, and we've had it years. So I thought, well, how have I managed to do it when nobody else has? And by the sounds of it, I must have got the green fingers, because I've not done anything with it. I've just left it by itself, and it's grown, and I've had berries on it. So fingers crossed next year I get a load more on it. But I'm going to have to read up on it, whether I should prune it back or not, or just leave it and see how it goes. But it has grown quite long. So I'm going to have a little read up on goji berry bushes and see what I should do with them. And the reason for that is that I don't like to waste not being outside if it's decent weather, because come winter time it could be chucking it down every single day. So while ever it's nice outside, I'm making the most of it. And to be honest, it's not been that bad on the plot this year so far. In autumn, I've been outside literally every single day working in it. It's been quite slippy and boggy and heavy, but it's not been bad to be outside. So I'm getting absolutely loads done. Usually in wintertime, I hibernate. I don't go onto the plot until January. After October, I usually shut it down, don't bother with it, and then come back in January and rush at last minute to get it all ready and prepared. But this year, I'm getting on top of it, getting it all prepared, getting areas done up on it, and hopefully improve it ready for next year. So use this time wisely to do any repairs. Check your greenhouses are safe and secure, that there's no loose glass in them or anything like that, because if the winter winds come and blow it, they'll certainly smash and your greenhouse could buckle and collapse. So go around your greenhouse and check all that out as well. So the other task what I need to get done, if it is bad weather, which I have started, I've started clearing out all my stuff in the polytunnel, all my old tomato plants, all the compost what I use in the buckets for the tomato plants. I reuse it. I put it in the beds where I've put my spring bulbs and stuff to improve it. I'll also put it in the bean beds and the runner bean beds to improve the soil. So I've got all that to do during the winter time, but that's only a job if it's raining. I never do work in the polytunnel unless it's raining. So that has been our weekly update for this week on what we've been getting up to on the allotment. I hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure you click that follow button to stay up to date with my daily podcasts. Like I say, they get uploaded at 7 o'clock every morning. Feel free to follow me on my social medias, Facebook, Instagram and YouTube, Gardening with Ben. And check out my website below in the description, www.gardenandallotment.com, where I share tips and advice. And also I have a shop on there where you can purchase Gardening with Ben hoodies and mugs, and also funny t-shirts and funny hoodies as well, all gardening related. So have a look at them. So thanks for listening to today's episode. Come back tomorrow, and remember, keep keep gardening.